It's V-Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Balvano's fight against cancer.
Well, even by their standards, the Crazies got here early, and the Crazies are loud here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. They are fired up for a big-time matchup tonight. Who are they rooting on? Of course, freshman sensation Cooper Flagg, who leads the Blue Devils in scoring, rebounds, assists, and blocks. And who's on the other side? Probably the guy playing better than anybody in the nation right now, Janai Broome, putting up monster numbers. What does Bruce Pearl, the head coach of the Tigers, think his team has to do well to win this game tonight?
Handle the noise, handle the environment, okay? When they start making a run, draw a foul, and more than anything else, trust your coaches. Trust your teammates, okay? They're gonna make plays, they're gonna make some mistakes. Trust each other. Let's go make some history.
Welcome to ESPN's SEC ACC Men's Challenge presented by Continental Tire. Tonight, as we mentioned, number 2 Auburn, number 9 Duke, and this challenge, to be frank, has been extremely one-sided so far. The SEC a resounding 11-1 so far. The only ACC win, the Clemson win over Kentucky last night. Hi, everybody. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, and 9,314 very lively people behind us right now. Auburn coming off a Maui championship, playing great. Duke trying to protect home court, 5-2 on the year. This one could be terrific.
It's going to be outstanding. Auburn has the #1 rated offense in the country. Duke has the #1 rated defense in the country. A lot of the game is going to be determined by how Duke protects the paint and whether Auburn can score in the paint. Auburn shoots 69% in the paint, and Duke is limiting opponents to just about 40% shooting in the paint. I think rebounding is going to be a huge issue in this game, and for Duke, Cooper Flagg, he's played his best. The #1 recruit in the country has played his best against top 25 teams. And Janai Broome for Auburn is having a monster year. In Maui, he averaged 22 points, 15 rebounds a game, had 19 rebounds in one game. This guy is playing as well as anybody in the country, and I think right now has put himself #1 in the race for National Player of the Year.
I'm not sure she can hear us. I'm not sure she'll be able to hear herself. But let's go down to the court. Here's Chris Budden.
Hi, Dan. Auburn's been red hot. They have already 3 top 25 wins, but they're looking to do something tonight that no SEC team has done since 1981, and that is win inside Cameron Indoor. What a scene it's been so far. They're expecting more students than they've ever had for a non-conference game. Bruce Pearl told his team, we have to be effective with our in-huddle communication and our hand signals. But as Janai Broome told me, so many of these Auburn guys dreamed of one day playing in this building. Tonight will be special.
Bruce Pearl, his 11th year as head coach of the Tigers, and where he has taken this program is really quite something in recent years. Of course, took him to a Final Four in 2019, has won a couple of regular season SEC championships. John Shire in his 3rd year as the head coach at his alma mater, 27-9. Each of his first 2 years took him to the Elite 8 last year. This is a matchup you rarely see. It's only the 5th time that Duke and Auburn have met. Duke is 4-0. The only time they met here, Charles Barkley's freshman season, 1981-82, a Duke victory. This place is alive right now. This should be a great game. Damon Amalawach and Janai Broome on the tip, and Auburn will get first crack at it. How impressive were the Tigers out in Maui, defeating Iowa State, North Carolina, and Memphis. They've also got a win over Houston at the Toyota Center in Houston, arguably the best resume, the best wins of anybody in the country. Cardwell the rebound, and Chad Baker Mazzara knocks down the 3.
That's exactly what the way Auburn plays. Offensive rebound, kicking it out for an open three. Big play to start the game for Auburn.
Jay, one change in the starting lineup for Duke. Sion James is at the point instead of Caleb Foster.
Well, Sion James is a big guard. He can handle it like a point guard. He's a very good passer. But against this Auburn Tiger team that's really physical, he provides a different level of physicality for Duke than Caleb Foster.
And that was James missing the three. The Tulane transfer, who's been really good off the bench the first 7 games of the year for the Blue Devils. Here's the starting lineup for the Tigers. Again, with the best player in the country to this point of the season, Janai Broome. And keep an eye on number 13, Miles Kelly. There he is. A transfer from Georgia Tech. He had 2 very good games against Duke last year, including 16 points here at Cameron.
Auburn with the ball reversal and an open side, taking advantage of the overplay with a quick back door.
Cooper Flagg on the drive, up and in, and a chance for 3.
Cooper Flagg has a really quick first step, and he can do it driving right or left. Going against Janai Broome, just gave a little shot fake, got Broome off balance, and then Dylan Cardwell had to come over and protect the rim, wound up fouling him, and still Cooper Flagg able to complete the play.
Jay, they won't always be on each other, and by they I mean Cooper Flagg and Janai Broome, but they'll be on each other a fair bit. How is each coach looking at this matchup?
Well, there's going to be a lot of switching in this game, so you're right. They won't be on each other all the time. But when you're guarding Janai Broome, what you really have to do is make him go through your chest. But I don't think John Shire wants to put Cooper Flagg in the position of having to guard him all game long, so he's on Cardwell right now and won't have to switch off much.
Broome covered by Malawach, and Broome got back to his left hand to lay it in.
And always wants to get back to that left hand, and he's so good at doing it. His feet are elite.
The MVP in Maui, and just had monster games in all 3 for the Tigers. James picks up his dribble. Broome is on him. Loose ball back to James with 10 on the shot clock. Driving on Cardwell. Needs some help. Tyrese Proctor misses the 3, and Cardwell just does save it.
But Dylan Cardwell was outstanding, especially in his last game at Maui. He was 8 of 8 from the field against Memphis, scored 18 points, and was all over the glass.
And one of the many players on this team who plays with great energy. This is a team that plays as together, I think, as any team we've seen this year.
Yes.
Denver, or Miles Kelly rather, knocks down a 3. Again, he's been here before, and he does not seem to be bothered at all by the environment. It is 10-2 Auburn, less than 3 minutes in.
Miles Kelly is the best perimeter shooter on this Auburn team. That's his 17th 3 of the year, and he's also an excellent guard rebounder. Had 11 rebounds in a game when he was at Georgia Tech against Duke.
Con Knipple off to Flagg. Got it back, got it knocked away, and it will stay with Duke.
One of the things you have to do against Auburn is gang rebound. And after the first miss by Broome, nobody's able to block out Dylan Cardwell. He immediately shoots it out to the 3-point line to Chad Baker-Mazara. And then Broome down low. He gets into your body, just spins off, and Sion James couldn't get there to block it because his feet are so quick. But Dylan Cardwell is, I believe, an elite passer after an offensive rebound. He always finds a perimeter shooter. If he doesn't have a dunk stick back, he will kick it out for an open 3.
John Shire with a couple of subs. Caleb Foster is in. And Malik Brown, the former Syracuse Orange, has checked in as well. A guy who could be very important. Another option to try to defend Janai Broome.
And Dan, one of the things that Auburn does so well of the many is they really guard out of bounds on the side and out of bounds underneath really effectively. It's hard to get the ball in and score. It's just it's difficult enough just to get it in.
Bruce Pearl is known as maybe the best in America. Bill Self gets a lot of acclaim here too on out of bounds plays, both offensive and defensive, right?
Yeah. I think special situations are going to be a big part of this game. Who can score on their out of bounds plays and who can defend. And I don't think there's anybody better at defending out of bounds underneath than Auburn is. They put a big guy on the ball and 5 guys play their rear ends off for 5 seconds to keep it from coming in.
Boy, Kelly is feeling it, and he hits another one. And an early timeout for John Shire with Auburn up 11 already.
Auburn throwing haymakers in Cameron Indoor Stadium, able to run clean offense to start this game. Duke expected to put pressure, but it's Auburn that's applied the pressure early.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. Well, the Auburn Tigers have themselves some fun out in Maui. Won the championship. Bruce Pearl celebrated with his granddaughter. Just a great few days on a number of levels for this Auburn program, which has some fans behind their bench. And what a start for Miles Kelly and the rest of the Tigers. They are 5 for 6 from the field, 3 for 3 from three-point range, and have an 11-point lead less than 4 minutes into this game.
Auburn has run clean offense, and Duke has not been able to thus far in the game because of Auburn's defense and their pressure.
Foster at the point now. James has gone to the bench. Foster the drive, takes a bump, and is going to the line.
Foster able to get the switch. Chaney Johnson had to switch off on him. And one thing that Auburn does, Dan, they try to build a wall defensively, so you have to see more bodies than you can see wood and openings. But Auburn will show help, but they don't often give help. So you've got, it's amazing their assist percentage defensively. They're only allowing 29% assists on field goals for their opponents defensively. That's remarkable.
And the premise being giving too much help opens up three-point shooting?
Yes. If on a drive, Caleb Foster there was able to put Auburn into help, then he could spray it to an open shooter. You got to close out. They can shot fake drive. Then you got to help again. Puts you in rotation.
Offensive rebound for Cooper Flagg. Bruce Pearl, when we asked him about Flagg today, talked about his motor, his activity. Said he is always a threat to go to the offensive glass and come up with a rebound.
And he's a player that can affect the game without scoring. He does so many other things.
Here's the matchup, Flagg and Broom. Flagg the pull-up, out of bounds, Auburn ball.
Didn't look like Flagg got that off before the buzzer, but he's going to have the ball in his hands quite a bit in this game because good things happen. His assist percentage is very good.
John Shire told us they track potential assists, saying every time a guy makes a good pass that should allow a teammate to score, but if the teammate misses the shot, not the guy's fault who made the pass. And Shire told us that in terms of potential assist rate, that Flagg is off the charts. They just need some of his teammates to make a few more shots.
It must be tough when you're charting it and then it's off the charts.
Seems kind of contradictory, doesn't it? Yeah. So Duke was down 16-3 to Kansas early. Came back, eventually tied it, but lost by 3 in Vegas last week. And they've dug themselves an early hole in this one as well. Con Knippel lays it in, 13-5.
Nice job by Knippel of playing off 2 feet. If he'd gone off of 1, it would have allowed a block shot attempt. Instead, he goes off 2 and completes the play.
We talked about Auburn's schedule. Duke's 2 losses, neutral court losses to Kentucky and Kansas, 1 by 5, 1 by 3. They had a big win down in Tucson at Arizona, so they've been tested as well. Flagg on the drive, the turnaround, tough shot, and it goes to make it a 6-point game.
This run by Duke predicated on getting stops. All of a sudden, there's more pressure on Auburn. They're not able to make easy passes.
Baker Mazzara trying to get around Con Knippel. Tough shot, Flagg the rebound. And Flagg fouled at the other end by Chaney Johnson.
Cooper Flagg with the ball in his hands. He's got Chaney Johnson on him, able to stop, spin, and that is not an easy shot. But Cooper Flagg made it look easy. And against top 25 teams this year, he's averaging over 20 points a game. He is a big game player.
That is the second on Chaney Johnson. That is a loss for the Tigers. He goes to the bench. Broom is in there as the 5 right now, and they've got a smaller lineup on the floor. Chris Moore, a 5th-year player, a 6'6" grad student, is into the game, and he is on Malik Brown, giving up some size in that matchup.
Moore is their best overall defender. I think Dylan Cardwell's their best help defender.
Foster the spin, and another Auburn foul. This one on Tahad Pettiford, the 5-star freshman from Jersey City.
Forced a tough 2, which is what Auburn wants to do. They want to force tough 2s and not give 3s. But just a reach at the very end instead of making Foster finish that tough 2.
Pettiford, a guy who has been very impressive in the early going this year, had 21 points in the win over Houston, 14 against Iowa State. As Foster steps to the line now for Duke, the sophomore from Harrisburg, North Carolina. Again, Jeremy Roach has moved on. He's gone to Baylor. So Foster was the starter at the point every game this season until this one. Sion James started, but it's not like Foster is not going to see a lot of time on the court.
And Caleb Foster hasn't gotten untracked so far this year. I mean, he's a good player, but has not played his best. And I think Duke needs him to play at or near his best to be the team that they want to be this year.
A 6-0 run for Duke to cut an 11-point deficit down to 5. Denver Jones into Broom, knocked away from behind, still belongs to the Tigers.
And Malik Brown, the transfer from Syracuse, guarding Johni Broom right now. And Brown is an excellent defender. He leads this team in steals and offensive rebounding. And that's his 49th deflection on the season for Duke. That leads the team by more than double.
And last year with Syracuse led the ACC in steals, and it was a member of the ACC All-Defensive team. And he might be the most ideal matchup that Duke has for Johni Broom.
They give up a little on the offensive end, but he's an outstanding defender.
Chad Baker Mazzara with his second 3 of the night.
Shooting over 45% from 3. And he is one confident player right now.
He is one of several for the visitors. Baker Mazzara, member of the All-Tournament team out in Maui. A nice scoop and finish by Foster.
When you drive against Auburn, you have to drive to score. You cannot drive to pass because they are not going to help out.
There's another deflection. What's that, 50?
That'd be 50.
That would
Very
be
good.
50.
But here's Baker Mazzara just coming off that little stagger Iverson cut. And here's the drive. You got to drive to score. If you're trying to spray it, they are not helping.
And that last bucket, a 2 for Baker Mazzara. So 15-10 Auburn. Auburn 0-4 all-time against Duke. The last time they met, Maui, 2018. Other than that, you got to go back 40-plus years for the other 3. And again, Duke has won all 4 games.
Isaiah Evans into the ball game for Duke, the freshman, who is a bucket getter.
Still learning the game, as John Shire told us today. But boy, can he be a game changer if he is having a good night. And now a Duke foul. I think it's Mason Gillis, the Purdue transfer. Reaching in, and it is. It's on Gillis. A guy, a proven guy, but a guy the Blue Devils would love to get a little bit more out of. He is not shooting the ball very well so far this year.
Well, last year at Purdue, I mean, he's a career 40% three-point shooter, but he had Zach Edey to play off of. And Edey had a lot of double teams that came to him, sometimes triple teams. So you had a little more open space and you knew where your shots were coming from. He's just going to have to adjust.
Cooper Flagg is the one Duke player who has not, the one Duke starter who has not come out of the game yet. Brown knocks it away again. He is really an elite defensive player.
Well, he's got great hands. You know, a lot of guys, they try to reach from behind a big guy they're going to foul. So he's got long arms, great hands. And Broom's going to have to move the ball around in order to try to draw a foul.
Baker Mazzara into Broom. Lots of time on the shot clock. Remember, Broom is left-handed. There it is, off the glass, too strong, and it's down to the Blue Devils.
Duke did such a great job rebounding against a good rebounding team in Arizona at McHale. They're going to have to do a better job against Auburn on the glass. It's got to be all 5 guys on the defensive glass against this team.
Brown comes up top to help him run some offense. It's deflected and it's turned over.
Really good job by Tahad Pettiford and Chris Moore. They switched that exchange, and Pettiford able to get his hand in the passing lane and knock it away.
5-point lead Auburn. 8:23 into this one.
When you play against a Bruce Pearl coached Auburn team, you're going to have to negotiate a lot of different screening actions. Miles Kelly down under the basket. Duke switching these exchanges. He sets a back screen and then gets a down screen. All of a sudden, Cooper Flagg is on him. He switches out off Cardwell, but you have to switch out to take something away. And Flagg doesn't switch out with a hand up to take that three-pointer away. And Miles Kelly, who had an outstanding career at Georgia Tech, he's played in this building before, is off to a great start. He's got 7 points. He's not yet missed a field goal, hit a couple of threes. And he is an excellent guard rebounder as well. So you have to block him out whenever he's on the floor.
On the bench right now, as Tahad Pettiford had checked into the game. Pettiford's gone back to the bench, and J.P. Pegues, a transfer from Furman. That's him at the point right now. Really, Bruce Pearl kind of alternating 3 different guys at times at the point guard spot. Denver Jones will see some time there as well. Broom got by Brown and got fouled.
There was just no help. Everybody was watching their man on the weak side instead of watching the ball. So Broom was able to get all the way to the 10 from really 25, 30 feet from the basket.
So Johni Broome, again, arguably, maybe inarguably, playing better than anybody else in the country right now. He's a 5th-year player, 2 years at Morehead State, now in his 3rd year with Auburn. Monster numbers, as you can see, each and every game out in Maui. How did he develop into this kind of a player under Bruce Pearl the last 3 years?
Well, he was under-recruited out of high school. And when he wound up, he's from Florida, and Florida State, they didn't recruit him. And so he went to Morehead State. He was Ohio Valley Player of the Year. He was all defensive team, defensive player of the year. And when he transferred to Auburn, Bruce Pearl and his assistant Stephen Pearl, his son, had said, hey, we'll see if he can put up these kind of numbers in the SEC. And he has. And he's done it consistently. And he continues to get better because now he can knock down a 3.
Boy, Gillis just wrestled that ball away from Moore to get Duke a possession.
And I think Duke now can attack J.P. Pegues. He's not the quickest guard. And right now he's guarding Isaiah Evans. But if I were them, I'd drive him.
Evans gets the 3 off and hits. The freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina, a McDonald's All-American, makes it a 3-point game.
Isaiah Evans has scored 23 points over his last 2 games. Those games were against Wofford and Seattle. But John Shire wanted to put him in and give him a chance because he gives them a different dimension.
He did not play a minute against Kentucky, Arizona, or Kansas. So this is his first action in a real big-time game here this season. And boy, he made an early statement with that 3.
What a rebound by Johni Broome,
who leads the nation in rebounding. Misses the 3. Again, he's got the green light to take that. And here comes Duke at one point down 13-2. Flagg. That would have tied it, but he missed way long. Malawacz now defending Broome. Moore takes a rare shot. Not a guy who looks for his offense much. And we got a call going against Johni Broome. That'll be his first.
Not sure Bruce Pearl wanted that shot from Chris Moore, but let's take a look at Isaiah Evans here. He's being guarded by J.P. Pegues. He's right here. He's going to come out and wind up on the other side of the floor and get a contested 3, but he comes off that screen by Malawacz, and he squares up and just lets it fire. He is a really talented offensive player.
And a very confident player as well, getting some good minutes. Again, getting some run in a very high caliber game for the first time this year. Flag to Malawacz. Now Foster. The drive, and he hits to make it a 1-point game.
And There was the drive against Pegues. He's a player defensively that I think Duke can attack.
Baker Mazzara, a couple of early buckets, forces it up and in, and is heading to the line as well.
Chad Baker Mazzara is a lefty. He started his career at Duquesne, went to San Diego State, where he was the Mountain West Sixth Man of the Year. He is long, athletic, he can drive it, and a good three-point shooter. But one thing he does, he is unafraid. He even gives a little look to the Duke crowd right after he knocks in that difficult shot, getting fouled. Now he goes to the line for the three-point play.
Yeah, he is unafraid of engaging fans of other programs as well, as we have seen. A terrific player, again, a member of the all-tournament team out in Maui last week. He's had 5 consecutive double-doubles, and he's well on his way already tonight. That's his 8th point. Or 5 consecutive double-figure scoring games, forgive me, and well on his way with 8 points. 10.5 minutes into this one.
He's guarding Con Knippel right now, trying to top lock him so Knippel can't come out on that same side.
Foster, the turnaround, too strong. And it bounces down to the Tigers. Miles Kelly ahead to Baker Mazzara. So Baker Mazzara's got 8. Kelly's got 8. The two of them have 16 of the 19. Broom with the other 3. Kelly, a great look, and he hits again.
Kelly was the first cutter, and that was all set up so that Dylan Cardwell could set a little pin down for him to pop right back out to the three-point line. That was just beautifully executed by Auburn.
Broom on the bench for the moment for Auburn. Flag on the bench for the moment for Duke. You talk about an open look. Isaiah Evans with his second 3 of the game. Auburn by 4. Kelly thought about it, and can you blame him the way that this one is going for him? 4 on the shot clock. Pegues the drive. Evans the save, and here comes Knippel. Kicks it out. Evans again. Hits again. Isaiah Evans introducing himself to college basketball fans around the country. He has made 3 threes in this game, and the freshman has the Blue Devils back within 1 against the Tigers here at Cameron.
Ready, set.
Well, John Shire told us at Shoot Around today if he were an opposing coach and he saw Isaiah Evans checking into the game, he'd have a little bit of concern, because if it's clicking, as young as he is, as much as he's learning, Jay, if he is on, he's got a chance to turn a game on its side.
Well, especially if he gets started like this.
Yeah.
He's hit 3 threes in this ball game, 9 points. The first one he hit was under duress, but then he's had 2 open ones. And that's going to spread the floor a little bit, and you have got to pay attention now to Isaiah Evans. And I agree with you, Dan. He has announced his arrival as a player here. You know, mentioned he played extraordinarily well against both Wofford and Seattle. That's not quite Auburn.
Yep.
But he's come into this game against Auburn, and he has shown no fear, especially on the offensive end.
Again, not a single minute against Kentucky, Arizona, or Kansas, but certainly seems to be handling his minutes against Auburn very well. The Tigers once led by 11. It's down to 1, and now up to 3. What a drive by Broom.
Just got him to the right wing so he could get to that left hand against Malowach.
Sion James back into the point now for Duke.
So far, Auburn's done a pretty good job on Con Knippel. He hasn't had any open opportunities.
What a rebound by James. And then a foul. Both Pettiford and Broom were there. It's going to go on Pettiford.
And that's where Pettiford has to just be a little bit smarter in that situation. You know, he's got Janai Broom behind him, and Broom is one of the best shot blockers in the country. He's averaging 3 blocks a game. Let Broom wipe that away. Just try to be as big as you can, but you don't want to foul there and take away Broom's opportunity to block a shot.
The second annual SEC ACC Challenge continues Thursday with women's matchups. Number 18 Ole Miss against NC State at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Then our ESPN doubleheader. Number 4 Texas, number 10 Notre Dame, and then another great matchup. Number 8 Duke and number 3 South Carolina. James at the line and makes them both. And again, it's a 1-point game. Pettiford trying to get him lined up the way he wants at the offensive end. Gets it back. Proctor way out on Kelly, respecting his ability to shoot. Shot clock down to 7. Tipped away by Brown. Pettiford, the force. Almost banked it in. It's Duke ball. And Duke leads. Down 11 early, and Isaiah Evans has brought them back and into their first lead of the night.
And Malik Brown one-on-one in the post against Janai Broom knocks it away again. I mean, it's remarkable. Broom was holding that ball out, and Brown still able to reach around from behind and knock it away.
Brown, not a guy who needs the ball, not a guy you need to run plays for, just a guy who goes out there and plays great defense. And he is really making Janai Broom work so far.
Looks like they got a foul on Dylan Cardwell.
Yeah, they do. Rebound. Number 2 on him. So Johnson has 2, Pettiford has 2, Cardwell has 2 for Auburn.
Yeah, Cardwell just coming in from the left side, just gives a shove to Cooper Flagg.
So Flagg, the freshman, to the line for the Blue Devils. He's got 4 points, 7 rebounds already, and 2 assists in this game. This is 1-1.
Well, Duke was able to take the lead in this game in part because of the great shooting from Isaiah Evans when he was put in the ball game, but also Duke's pressure defensively has been much better after the slow start they got off to. They've made it very difficult for Auburn to run clean offense in the half court.
Flagg makes them both, and the lead has grown to 4. Boy, how about a 15-point swing already in this game? Pettiford used the screen, too strong off the glass. Duke ball. Evans. Not this time, but it's tipped out by who else? Brown.
Brown's able to affect the game without scoring a point.
And he's got a mismatch with Kelly and tips it up and in. Bruce Pearl is screaming for basket interference, but they play on.
Brown is really frustrating Janai Broom. He's got to be careful not to pick up an offensive foul here.
Cardwell. And almost stolen by Brown. Yet another deflection. Pettiford hits the 3. Big shot for Auburn.
Well, he's another guy that plays his best in big games. You mentioned the 21 points he put on Houston, and Bruce Pearl said he won us the Houston game.
Proctor follows it and is fouled, and it's number 2 on Janai Broome.
That was all because of a miscommunication on a switch by Auburn. Pettiford lost him, but here's Malik Brown. Was this in the cylinder? Yeah, it looked like it was.
Yeah, sure looked like it. Boy, how badly did they need this shot?
Well, it's one of those that's a really difficult shot. But Auburn has not been able to get anything easy over the last 12 minutes or so.
So again, the foul on Broome, his second. Chaney Johnson is coming in, but it's not for Broome. Cardwell, who also has 2, is going to sit. And listen to the ovation for Evans as the freshman checks out for Duke.
What a huge lift Isaiah Evans gave to this Duke team with his shooting.
An 8-man rotation that John Shire has been running, Jay, appears to now be a 9-man rotation. Evans will give his coach no choice the way that he is playing. He's 4 for 6 from three-point range.
Auburn running some 5 out.
Another deep 3 for Tahad Pettiford. Boy, we got some players in this game.
Yeah, 2 big answers from Tahad Pettiford. Well, Auburn needs to clean up some of these switches. Cooper Flagg is wide open.
Tyrese Proctor's wide open. Can't hit the 3, and a good box out there by the Tigers. Pettiford, coast to coast. And the follow is good, and a foul. Chaney Johnson.
Well, Pettiford knew if he could get to the rim, there was a great opportunity for an offensive board were he to miss, and Chaney Johnson right there for it. What a game we've got in Cameron Indoor Stadium. Plays being made on both ends of the floor. Made about the best.
Pretty good company right there. Look at the shooting numbers. Auburn red hot at the beginning. They've cooled off. Duke ice cold at the beginning. They've heated up. I got a stat for you. We've had 16 minutes of great action. There's been 1 turnover in the game. Duke 1 turnover, Auburn none. That is remarkable stuff and shows you how talented these 2 teams are.
Both teams are playing really hard and making plays on both ends of the floor. But because of Duke's improvement defensively over the last 10-12 minutes or so, Auburn really hasn't been able to get into some of the staples that it runs. That baseline flex action. They really haven't been able to get the ball inside. Malik Brown, one of the reasons why.
He's been one of the stars of the game, or one of the most important guys on the court so far, don't you think? And the numbers don't jump off the chart, but again, he's not in there to score points. He's in there to play great defense, and he has certainly made Janai Broome work very hard for his touches. Flagg takes a bump off the glass. No, tipped by Brown, and down with it Kelly for the Tigers.
Boy, Flagg took a huge bump from Miles Kelly. No call.
Pettiford has given the Tigers some very good minutes. Some foul trouble for Auburn. 3 guys with 2 fouls here in the first half. A turnover. The first of the game by the Tigers, and the flush for Proctor.
Pettiford called for a ball screen, got caught up in it, just fell down, and That turned into an easy bucket for Proctor on the other end.
And the lead changes hands again.
Now Proctor on Broom. He can back him down.
And the foul on Proctor. That is the 5th team foul on Duke here in the first half, but it's number 2 on Proctor. As you get another look at the turnover and the dunk, so Proctor's going to sit, and Evans is back into the game, and Proctor not happy that he's got to sit the rest of the half. He hasn't gotten going yet. He's got 4 points. The dunk was his first field goal of the night. A touch for Broom. Again, Brown defending. And Broom left it short. Brown the rebound.
Great job of walling up and making Broom make the tough 2 over the top of him.
Evans again. Unbelievable performance here in the first half by the freshman Isaiah Evans. And I mean, Jay, he's catching it and he is letting it fly. You talk about confidence. Baker Mazzara, speaking of confident, with the answer at the other end.
Yeah, Isaiah Evans has been conscience-free coming into this game. He is playing with a free mind on the offensive end, and what an impressive performance. Chad Baker Mazzara is guarding him now.
Baker Mazzara with 11 himself. Now Kelly is on Evans after a switch. Evans the drive, had it knocked away, and it belongs to Auburn with numbers. And Baker Mazzara threw it away. Now Duke in transition. Foster for 3. Duke leads by 4. Caleb Foster's some really good minutes for Duke tonight.
Auburn makes a mistake, and Duke turns it into a 3 in transition defense.
Kelly through traffic. Brown might have gotten a piece of it. Flag.
What a pass.
Foster. Look at the offensive rebound by Knippel. Evans again. No way. 6 threes for Isaiah Evans.
Isaiah Evans has been like a video game out here. It's unbelievable.
And John Shire's decision to give him some run in a game like this for the first time this year. Boy, has that paid off. Duke was down 11 3 minutes into the game. They now lead by 7.
And Duke has the possession arrow, so they can get a score here. They can get the ball first in the second half.
Moore down with a rebound off the miss by Flag. Time for Auburn. Broom will try a 3. And that will bring the first half to a close, and what a first half it was. And for that guy more than anybody else, Isaiah Evans having the game of his life right now. The freshman with 6 made threes and 18 points to turn a deficit into a lead for the Blue Devils. Chris Budden is with John Shire.
Coach, Isaiah Evans, what gave you the confidence to think that he could produce in a game like this?
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Isaiah Evans, what gave you the confidence to think he could do this?
You know, I'm so proud of him, because look, there's still 20 minutes to go. But as a freshman, he has worked every single day before and after practice. He can have a different attitude. I knew he'd be ready to go. He's a big-time player. Believe in him like crazy. And again, let's put together 20 more minutes. But I love how our guys found him too.
Defensively, what worked after the early run by Tigers?
Well, we were tougher on the ball. And, the first play, they get an offensive rebound. And these guys crash like crazy. They can make contested threes. You have to finish possessions off, and you have to keep them out of transition. I mean, they don't have just one player. Broom's great. They got anybody on the floor can go off.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
What an atmosphere and what a first half here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Dominated early by Auburn, but then Isaiah Evans said, "Get me the ball." He just kept shooting and he just kept hitting. And the freshman has 6 threes, 18 points, 7-point lead Duke. Jeep halftime report, Kevin and Seth. Welcome back to the SEC ACC Challenge presented by Continental Tire. And what a first half of action that was. Auburn got out of the gate so quick, up 13-2, and then Isaiah Evans just took over the game. The freshman Jay making 6 threes in the first half.
Did you have Isaiah Evans with 18 points on your bingo card?
No, sir.
But he was ready to shoot every time he caught the ball. He was clapping for it coming across half court. Everybody in the middle of the lane. He backs out to the three-point line and nails it. Here he's ready to shoot coming across half court. But as Cooper Flagg drives into the middle, he relocates. The defense can't catch up to him. He knocks down another one. And then here on a relocation pass right in the vision of Con Knippel, shot fake drive, and as soon as he passes it to Malik Brown, relocates back out to the corner to knock down yet another 3. 18 points, 6 threes in the first half. He made this game look like a video game, and Isaiah Evans was a 5-star prospect out of North Mecklenburg High School right in Charlotte, North Carolina. Scored 62 points in a playoff game in the North Carolina playoffs. That beat a record from Chris Paul, who had 61 in a playoff game.
Chris Budden had a chance to speak with Bruce Pearl moments ago. Chris.
His message to the team is that they are killing us in the transition game. We have to be able to get back on the other end of the court and stop allowing the wide open threes. And then the boards have to be able to do a better job rebounding. So far, out rebounding 24-15.
Chris, thank you. Transition points, Duke 10, Auburn 0. Each team went 7 for 15 from three-point range. Evans will start the second half on the bench, as will Malik Brown. And if Evans is the headliner for Duke, Malik Brown has to be right there with him for what he did on the defensive end and how tough he made life for Janai Broome in the first half. Broome just 2 for 9 in this game, 5 points.
And another thing Auburn needs to do is handle pressure better in this second half. Duke's pressure really limited what Auburn could do on the offensive end.
Flagg misses a 3. He is also just 2 for 9 tonight, but he's got 10 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, and a steal. So he is helping Duke in a number of ways.
Well, Duke has gang rebounded on the defensive end. All 5 guys have gotten to the glass.
Jones with a long 2. Proctor may have gotten a piece of it, but it bounces to Broome, who lays it in.
Every time there's an air ball, it's advantage to the offensive end. The defense is expecting it. They're trying to block out, expecting it to hit the rim.
Flagg gets a piece of the paint and knocks it down.
He is just unflappable.
Duke by 7. Again, Auburn led by 11 early in this game, 13-2. And then Duke roared back, led by Evans. Jones, little stop and go, lost it. 2-on-1. Knippel, James, and the finish.
It looked like they got a foul on Dylan Cardwell.
They did, and hopefully James is okay. He hit the court hard. But if you're talking about guys who are built to withstand the punishment, Sion James right at the top of the list.
Well, you cannot guard a run out. This is not part of transition defense. But a good job. The ball really never touched the floor. And Dylan Cardwell trying to stop what would have been an easy dunk. It was a hard dunk because of the foul. But Sion James, that is a big, strong athlete. You're going to have to do more than.
And the officials have gone to the monitors, so evidently they are looking to see if this should be upgraded to a flagrant.
I can't imagine they would do that. It looked like Cardwell was going after the ball. But anytime a player hits hard, they feel like they have to look. If a player takes a wild swing, that's just a normal foul. There's nothing there.
But the fact that the arm hit him across the face, is that going to have an impact on their decision?
It shouldn't, because he went after the ball. Who knows what the officials are going to do? But he went after the ball here. And when you go off 1 foot, it's a lot more difficult to maintain your balance when there's contact. But there's no question in my mind he was going after the ball.
If it stays as a common foul, then James will shoot one more free throw. If they upgrade it, then it's 2 and they get the ball. Ron Groover, Bill Covington Jr., Clarence Armstrong, the officials.
Well, they're talking about it this long. That means something's going to happen.
Ron Groover will let us know.
After review, the play has been upgraded to a flagrant 1. Duke will have 2 free throws and have the ball underneath the basket with 20 on the shot clock.
So upgraded to a flagrant 1 way or another. It's also number 3 on Cardwell. So James the bucket, 2 free throws, and then Duke is going to get the ball.
Well, James has to shoot the free throw. He still has a free throw to shoot. Boy, that's a big call. And I think you're right. It must have been the fact that there was contact made with the head, but there wasn't a wild swing. That's an interesting interpretation.
So James all by himself at the line. This has a chance to be a very productive trip for the Blue Devils. What a pickup in the transfer portal. Sion James, who's been a 4-year player at Tulane, scored better than 1,000 points, and everybody talks about him as the dream teammate, the dream guy to coach on student-athlete advisory committees and so forth. I mean, brings a ton of intangibles and also is a terrific basketball player. Made one of the 2, and now the Blue Devils get it. Knipple to inbound. Malawatch the screen. Proctor up top, and Malawatch the finish. And it winds up being a 5-point trip for Duke.
Well, we talked about Auburn running clean offense the first 4 minutes of this game. There has been nothing clean run since then.
And as we told you off the top of the show, coming into the game, Auburn, number 1 in the nation per Ken Palm in offensive efficiency. Duke, number 1 in the nation in defensive efficiency. But Duke has really been so good at the offensive end since the first few minutes of the game.
Yeah, Duke doing a great job on that last possession of lifting everybody up. Good play.
And Moore has it blocked by Malawatch, but they're going to count the basket. That will be a goaltending call. They are going to look at it at the next timeout, but for the moment, the basket will count. And it did look like it hit the glass first, don't you think?
I do.
Yeah. So that will probably stand, but by making the call, then they have the opportunity to go look at it at the next media timeout. By the way, that last foul was on Proctor. It is his 3rd. He's still in the game. Flag, a size advantage, and he just bullies Jones in underneath the bucket and lays it in.
Duke is taking on the switches by Auburn when they have an advantage, trying to get the ball in Cooper Flagg's hands whenever they can because he makes such good decisions with the ball.
He's into double figures now. Johnson from the elbow, short. Rebound, Malawatch.
Boy, there's nothing but white shirts going after the ball in the defensive glass. They have limited Auburn's offensive rebounding.
Flag again. James the tip. Moore comes down with it for the Tigers, but they lose it. And James is headed back to the line.
Boy, Auburn is just so loose with the ball. Chris Moore picks it up, just gives a very poor pass to Denver Jones, and Sion James right there to go back to the line. And this is just Cooper Flagg using his size, just going right into the chest of Denver Jones and going over him in the middle of the lane. And because Auburn is not helping there, it was just one-on-one, essentially one-on-one in the post.
James will miss the first. Foster coming in. Proctor, who's got 3, is going to sit.
At some point, you have to expect that Auburn is going to try some full court pressure to try to change the tempo of this game, as Duke has limited Auburn essentially to being a half-court team, and they haven't been able to run much half-court offense.
Boy, James missing some opportunities here. He's missed 3 of his 4 free throws last couple of trips. Jones into Broom, the spin, got it back and lays it in.
Well, even though Malowacz had to switch off, well, he came back and really impacted that play around the rim.
Broom now with 9 points and 5 rebounds, but again, he's had to work so hard for that. And as we say that, Malik Brown has gone to check in at the scorer's table. Flagg defended by Johnson. He'll pull up, miss the 3. James, another offensive rebound. And Duke just all over the offensive glass right now. Jay, that's 11 offensive rebounds now for the Blue Devils.
Duke has been quick to the ball on longer rebounds.
A great start in the second half for the Blue Devils. They have extended the lead. They are up 12, 4-10 into the second half. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by McDonald's.
It's V-Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
And such an important week. We at ESPN partnering with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. This is game-changing research that saves lives. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. Every dollar of your donation goes directly to cancer research. Let's go to Chris.
Dan, Bruce Pearl's team has always been proactive about raising money and awareness for cancer research, and it's a cause that's very close to home for this current team. 8 years ago, Auburn team manager Sam Cunningham was diagnosed with leukemia. This 6th grader spent 83 days in the hospital. He had previously attended one of Pearl's camps, so Pearl called him while he was in the hospital and promised him, whenever you get to college, there's a spot as a manager on my team. They kept in touch throughout the years, and thankfully, March 16th, 2022, Sam was declared cancer-free. Those pictures are from the annual live games that Auburn has, and he kept his promise. He's now in his 2nd year as a manager at home watching this one tonight, guys.
Chris, thank you. A wonderful story. Bruce Pearl, one of the many, many coaches who does such an outstanding job raising money for cancer research. And while we're on the topic, and I know he's watching, our buddy Dickie V is going to get more results. He's been through so many tests and so many rounds of treatment. Dick, I know you're watching. We love you. We're thinking of you. And we hope you're back in an arena doing what you love, calling a basketball game before too long.
We're all thinking about you, Dickie V. Boy, what a great play by Chad Baker-Mazara on that last possession and knock the ball. He couldn't get it, so knock it back out to Pettiford for that 3, and Auburn really needed that.
Back down into single digits. Duke, though, still leading by 9. Knipple back to Foster, 10 to shoot. Foster some really good minutes in the first half. Everything but the finish on that drive. Blew by his defender, just couldn't lay in the reverse. Pettiford around the screen from Broom. Shovel pass and a lay-in. Beautiful two-man basketball.
Well, he was calling for that middle ball screen, and then Janai Broom just rolled right to the basket. Nobody picked him up on the switch.
Broom now with 11. Pettiford some really good minutes for Auburn tonight.
Now here's the switch. Pettiford on Flagg.
Flagg gives it up. Now relocates, and it's out to Brown. Foster with Broom on him. Tries to drive him, picks up his dribble. 3 to shoot. Flag. Hits it.
He is just a big-time player. Cooper Flagg impacts the game in just about every facet. Rebounds, passes, blocks shots.
Oh, wow. Pettiford. What a stop and go, and then lays it in with the reverse. Another big bucket for the freshman.
He's a lefty, went to that left hand to avoid the block shot. And here's what Auburn needs to do is pick up the pace with full court pressure.
4 on 5. Now Brown gets into the play for the Blue Devils. Still lots of time. Foster, they switch out on him. Now Flagg. Shot clock inside 4, and the turnaround, he draws a foul. And we'll head to the free throw line.
Just couldn't keep his hand out of the cookie jar. Did a good job of walling up. But here's Pettiford, the roll, and Brown just couldn't pick him up. And just a great pass. Then Cooper Flagg catches the ball. That first step is so quick. Chad Baker-Mazara is a good defender. He just blew right past him into the middle of the lane.
How about a little late night basketball for you Saturday night, 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, and a great matchup. It will be Kentucky and Gonzaga. Now the Wildcats, remember, they lost last night at Little John. Clemson got them. They'll be looking to play well up in Seattle when they take on the Zags.
This doesn't count as late night basketball.
It's a little past Jay's comfort zone for bedtime here. This is a late start. But boy, has it been fun. Isaiah Evans has checked in for the first time this half. And Brown makes another good defensive play.
And Cooper Flagg right there as well.
Yeah. Again, Duke, an outstanding defensive team so far this year. Evans misses the runner. Baker-Mazara. He'll go to the free throw line. Boy, you got to respect the shot, but you also got to respect the drive with him.
Yeah, you have to square him up. And Con Knipple on him in the left corner. And Mazara, a lefty, got away with a little push there at the end. This is one area where Auburn hasn't spent much time. They haven't been at the free throw line very much at all in this game, while Duke has shot a ton of free throws. They just haven't made them.
He is one of 4 Tigers at this moment, each with 11 points. Give them 12 now, but balanced scoring between Baker-Mazara, Broom, Kelly, who got all of his early, and Pettiford off the bench. They've got 4 in double figures, as now Knipple is going to sit, and Gillis is back in for the Blue Devils.
And even though Auburn has faced a ton of pressure on the offensive end, and it has not been an easy game. I mean, we're looking at a 2-possession game with 12.5 to go in regulation. There is a long way to go in this one.
Both of these coaches will tell you and have told us they have learned so much about their teams because of the strength of the schedule they played in the early going. And here's Auburn doing what you said they should do, trying to make the game a little bit more chaotic.
And Chaney Johnson just stepping out of bounds as he was throwing that back into play. I'm not sure he was out of bounds. It looked more like Cooper Flagg was the one that stepped out.
Duke ball, Evans to inbound. First true road game of the year for Auburn. A lot of very tough neutral site games. And obviously this is a tough place to win, both because of the quality of the Duke program and the building. And the building has been alive all night long. It has been a great night so far. And Malik Brown slams it home on the weak side to make it a 7-point lead.
On that drive, Janai Broom came over from the weak side to try to block that shot. If you don't get it, Malik Brown all by himself for the offensive rebound. That's where sometimes a strength shot blocking can turn into a weakness if you over pursue.
Baker Mazzara into Broom, another slip and another bucket.
Boy, Janai Broom just so strong. And playing in the middle of the floor, it's so difficult to give help. But both Mason Gillis and Malik Brown right there. That middle ball screen, he slips right out of it, and that is strength on strength. That's not Dr. James Naismith. I just think I invented the game. But take a look at how Duke is handling Auburn switching. Come on, Malawach going to set a middle ball screen here. You're going to see a switch from Auburn. He just slips out of it and in kind of Spain action. And then another middle ball screen run higher. Auburn's going to switch. A favorable matchup for Cooper Flagg with Denver Jones. He is bigger, just takes him into the middle of the floor. There's no help. He just scores right over the top.
Let's take a look at tonight's Wooden Watch presented by Principal. A couple of preseason All-Americans in Janai Broom. He's starting to get his numbers, been more effective in the second half. He's got 13 and 7, and Cooper Flagg's got his third double-double of the season.
And Broom has been more effective in the second half because Bruce Pearl has put him in some middle ball screen action, and he's been able to roll strong down the middle of the lane without help being present.
Broom third in the nation in block shots, first in rebounding, and averaging better than 20 a game coming into this one, and that's his 14th point here tonight. And he's a terrific passer as well. I mean, you're in Broom and Flagg, you're talking about two guys who can impact the game in so many different ways.
No question. And Auburn going with some full court pressure. It just disrupts the rhythm of the game, and Broom has to be careful here not to reach in and get a foul. There it is.
There it is. And that's number 3.
You could see it coming. It's not necessary.
You admire the tenacity, but when your best player picks up his third foul that far away from the bucket.
And with this much time remaining in regulation.
Foster the drive.
A good job by Denver Jones to get back around in front. Auburn decided not to switch that.
Foster baseline, scoops it up, tipped in by Brown, but they're going to wave it off. That'll be basket interference.
And that time, Janai Broom had to come over from the weak side and just give it a look. But he wasn't going to put himself in a position to foul, just kind of ran by him. There's no question that was on the rim.
Yeah, and once again, they will look at it the next time out, but you could see easily there that that was the correct call. So here come the Tigers. They got it down to 4, and they got the ball. And again, Broom slips, and he slams, and it's a 2-point game.
Great adjustment by Bruce Pearl against Duke's switching defense. Just clearing the middle, letting Janai Broom go to work.
So what does John Shire do to try to counter it now that Auburn's in a groove at the offensive end?
Well, if you're going to switch, you have to get right back in front.
Miles Kelly the foul.
You have to stay between Janai Broom and the basket. Like, there's just too much. You had 2 on the ball, and that really wasn't a switch. It was just putting 2 on the ball, and Broom. So you're asking another defender to rotate over. This is not going to happen.
Brown's going to sit. Malawach back in for Duke. A high-level basketball game here as part of the SEC-ACC Challenge. Dominated by the SEC, but tonight, 2 of the best teams in their respective conferences, 2 of the best teams in the country going toe-to-toe here in Durham.
Boy, Con Knippel has not. That was his first open look at the game. They have done a great job limiting his touches and his ability to get a shot off.
Kelly to Johnson, 10 to shoot.
Great job by Tyrese Proctor to take away the back door by Mazzara.
Broom Knocked away, out of bounds, and it's ruled that it's off of Broom out of bounds. It's back to Duke. I think that's Flag reaching in. He created the loose ball, and it's going to be Duke ball.
Yeah, it hit Broom's leg. Looked like it also hit Cooper Flag's hand. But those are bang-bang plays and tough to call.
More pressure from the Tigers. And now James will bring it over as we have reached the midway point of the second half in a 2-point game. And another Auburn foul. This time it'll be Chaney Johnson. And that'll be his third. So all three big guys, Cardwell, Broom, and Johnson, each now with 3 fouls.
So Auburn getting hung up on these screens, trying to switch them. Just a really good screen by Sion James. But that was asking a lot for Chaney Johnson to negotiate that screen, get back around in front.
Another thing that Flag does very well is draw fouls, and one of the reasons he does that is because of how active he is. He's never just standing still. Now a turnover on the inbounds.
And that's what Auburn does so well. They put a big guy on the ball, and 5 guys bust it for 5 seconds to keep you from getting a scoring play.
Broom spinning, and he turned it over again. And last 2 times down, Jay, instead of Broom receiving the ball as he's slipping to the goal, he's been trying to initiate the offense with the dribble, and he's 0 for 2. Still a very low turnover game, considering the pace, but now it's starting to creep up a little bit on Auburn.
Well, most of Auburn's turnovers, a number of them have come with Duke taking it the other way.
Flag. Proctor.
Good fake.
The 3. Yes. Tyrese Proctor knocks down a 3. Duke by 5. ESPN Plus content is now on Disney Plus. Bundle subscribers can stream live events, original content, and studio shows from ESPN Plus. Start streaming now. And how about this great doubleheader Friday night on ESPN, an NBA doubleheader. Jason Tatum, former Duke Blue Devil Jason Tatum, and the Celtics hosting Giannis and the Bucks at 7:30 Eastern. And then in the second game, Steph and the Warriors hosting Ant and the T-Wolves. NBA Countdown tips off our coverage at 7. You'll be on that Warriors T-Wolves game. What are you looking forward to?
Well, the Timberwolves were the best defensive team in the NBA last year. They have not been that this year. Had a great defensive performance against the Lakers the other night. But it'll just be great to work with a real pro. Bill Raftery joke.
Yeah.
It's great to work with a real pro.
Ryan Rucco, he's all yours.
Duke with a little 1-2-2 3/4 court pressure.
And Ron Groover, the lead official tonight, I don't know exactly what he is saying to Bruce Pearl, but it may be that you and yours have to stay on the bench and be a little less up and maybe on the edge of the court. Just a warning there from Ron Groover, longtime official. Bruce Pearl about as active on the sideline as any coach in America. 7-point game, Duke on top, Auburn ball.
There's that flex action that Auburn likes to run. They're going to pick up a foul on Cooper Flag, but Duke's done a great job of guarding that baseline flex, which is a staple of Bruce Pearl coach teams.
Let's check in with Chris, who is nearby the last Auburn huddle.
Yeah, Janai Broom visibly frustrated sitting on the bench, and Chad Baker-Mazara the entire time in his ear, reminding him, you're the best player in the country. You were made for moments like this. There's 9 minutes left. Prove to everyone while you're celebrating positive things in his ear.
Well, speaking of positive things, Tahad Pettiford with another three, his fourth of the game, and it's a 4-point game. Duke on top.
He is a walking bucket.
Isaiah Evans led the way in the first half for Duke, made 6 threes, scored 18 points, has not played a whole lot in the second half. Boy, Flagg absorbing the contact and finishing.
Cooper Flagg has taken advantage of Auburn's switches. When he gets a little guy switched out on him, he just went right to the bucket. And Pettiford just reached up with those arms and caught a piece of Flagg's arms, but still he's able to complete the play. Just stops on a dime, decelerates. That was a huge basket.
And it's the fourth foul on Tahad Pettiford, the walking bucket, as you just called him. And at least for now, Bruce Pearl is going to leave the freshman in the game. Nobody stops the ball, and Pettiford lays it in.
Oh, come on, Malowacz turned his head after the initial thrust. There was a hesitation move, and he turned, and Pettiford took advantage of it.
16 now for Pettiford. Boy, he continues to play his best in Auburn's biggest games. Under 8 to go. Flagg again. And Malowacz is going to get called for the push-off. We got ourselves a game here at Cameron, and Jay, we got all kinds of players playing some terrific basketball right now.
Well, Tahad Pettiford, another McDonald's All-American, left-handed. He's got 16 points in this game. Comes off the ball screen, the little hesitation move, and Malowacz not there.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. Saturday afternoon, it's an ACC Network men's basketball triple header beginning with BC and Wake at noon Eastern, Georgia Tech and Carolina at 2 Eastern, and then Stanford and Cal. Stanford and Cal? Stanford and Cal. This is the world we're living in with super conferences right now. Stanford and Cal in an ACC conference game, 4 Eastern on ACC Network.
And you thought it was weird when Syracuse would play Notre Dame in an ACC game. Now you got Stanford and Cal.
Oh, boy. We've had to do a lot of recalibrating the last few years all over the country. We got a good one here. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Chris Budden. Duke 66, Auburn 61.
When Auburn plays 5 out, I think they can get some drives in this one.
Deep one for Kelly, and he hits.
Wow.
He was the big story in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game. Quiet since, but knocks down a 3 to make it a 2-point game. That's his 4th made 3 of the night. Flagg slips, got back to his feet, leans in and hits.
That's unbelievable.
He's limping on his way back down the floor and just reached for his left hamstring.
Might be a little cramping.
Yeah.
He's had that issue earlier in the year.
Something to keep an eye on. Pettiford. Boy, are guys making plays right now.
That was a difficult long 2 by Tahad Pettiford. But there aren't many shots out there he can't make.
Pettiford with 16. And again, remember, he is playing with 4 fouls. Proctor open for just a moment, missed the 3. And it's down to the Tigers with a chance to tie or take the lead. Pettiford again. Boy, you talk about the confidence that one freshman in Evans showed in the first half, and now we're seeing the same kind of confidence from Pettiford here in the second half.
And that was right on line. Just front rimmed it.
Bodies are flying, and we got a foul call against Auburn. It's going to be on Kelly.
Well, Tahad Pettiford can make individual plays. Just a step back move, long two over Sion James and drains it. And then Cooper Flagg goes down, keeps the dribble, gets back up, and then executes a little step through and scores with the left hand. What a big time play.
And again, limped a little bit. You can see him. He just he's working on that left leg. He's got something going on with his left leg.
He just pointed to his left knee.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm not sure that's from when he went down and kept his dribble on that last play, or whether there's some sort of cramping issue going on. It's hard to tell.
Whatever it is, he has obviously convinced the bench that he can stay. And Janai Broom gets a timeout called with 6:08 to go to keep possession. A 2-point game here at Cameron. We're back in 30. So what kind of a start is Auburn off to this season? Well, in program history, wins like this have been hard to come by. They go to the Toyota Center in Houston. They beat the Cougars. In Maui, they fall down by 18 to Iowa State, come back to win. They go wire to wire to beat Carolina. They go wire to wire to beat Memphis. They have had some big wins. They won the Maui Invitational. In program history entering this year, this is hard to believe, only 4 non-conference wins over ranked teams. In program history entering this year, Jay, it's December the 4th, and they've already got 3 this season. Could pick up a 4th here tonight.
Well, both these teams have played incredibly difficult schedules to start this year.
Pettiford has it swatted away. And for coaches, a great way to learn about your team. And for fans, how much fun are matchups like this? And a tip of the cap to both of these coaches for playing the schedules they have.
Well, these are the games that everybody wants to see and every player wants to play in.
And Auburn, by the way, still has Ohio State and Purdue to come in the next couple of weeks.
I don't know what that pass was, a behind-the-back pass on out of bounds underneath. That is just not good execution and not a good idea by Auburn.
James floats it up and in. Duke by 4.
Well, that turnover on out of bounds underneath was a big play.
Baker Mazzara, no. Broom with the rebound. Pettiford wide open. Johnson the rebound. And yet another opportunity for the Tigers. Pettiford splits a pair and floats it up and in. The lefty knocks it down with his right hand. Another huge bucket for the freshman.
How much game does he have? Splitting those defenders. He missed that 3. That was as wide open as he's been in this game.
Under 5 minutes to go in regulation. Proctor backs it out. And once again, with the shot clock running down, it'll be Flagg. Blocked. Proctor got it off and hits. He knew he had to take it. The shot clock was at 1, and he buried it. Now Johnson. How did that not go down? Four minutes to go. Duke by 5.
Proctor should have driven Pettiford there. They got the foul on Miles Kelly. But what a shot by Tyrese Proctor. Loose ball, shot clock winding down. It looked like Auburn may be able to take this thing the other way. But Tyrese Proctor, the presence of mind to knock that down as the shot clock going down to 0. Big time.
All right, SVP, thank you. SVP loves himself some college hoop, as we all do. So #1 Kansas losing at Creighton, and here #2 Auburn down by 5, Jay. 3:55 to go here in the second half. How about through 36 minutes of basketball, Duke has only turned the ball over 3 times tonight. Pretty impressive.
Really remarkable the way they've handled the ball. It's been in Cooper Flagg's hands a ton in this second half and really throughout the game, and he's such a good decision maker. And what a difficult cover. You switch out on him with a guard, he can take that guard down inside and shoot over him. If he's got a big guy on him, he can drive right past him. He's got an elite first step, and he can drive right or left. It doesn't matter.
Broom has had to work hard for his 16 and 10. Flagg at 17 and 11. This is 1 and 1 for Flagg, who is 3 for 6 from the line tonight, and Duke as a team is just 10 for 19 from the free throw line, 2 of 8 in the second half. We saw it in the Kentucky game, we saw it in the Arizona game, and we're seeing it tonight. Cooper Flagg has been a great second half player, Jay, in all of these big games that Duke has been in.
Well, and he's a big game player. He brings his best out in the biggest games, and this has certainly been one of them.
Chaney Johnson will take a 3, and a foul underneath on Tyrese Proctor.
Well, Janai Broom carves out so much space as a wedge rebounder. He just wedged inside of Malik Brown there, and Tyrese Proctor had to help out. His hands are like vice grips.
Denver Jones going to check in. Pettiford will sit. Again, Pettiford's got 4, so this could be a little bit of offense-defense here.
Yeah, Jones the better defender. He's an underrated perimeter defender.
And Broom, a 62% free throw shooter, misses the front end. Boy, a real scrap for the basketball. And then Bill Covington, one of the officials, is going to walk Chad Baker-Mazara out of the scrum. I don't think he thinks that Baker-Mazara had any bad intent there, but he just wanted to get him out of there before anything escalated. And I think Covington did exactly the right thing. I'm not sure where Baker-Mazara was going at that point. His teammate was up. The play was over. Everybody was fine. But Baker-Mazara is an emotional guy, and that can serve him well on a lot of occasions. We are told the officials are going to the monitor right now. They'll see if anything happened in there that they didn't like. I don't know. Do you think Baker-Mazara, it's hard to judge intent, obviously, but he got himself right in the middle of it. Maybe he thought something untoward happened to Chaney Johnson, his teammate, but it looked like by that point everything had been settled.
Well, but what would they call here? I mean, it's not like there was an elbow thrown or a punch or a push. I don't know what you call here. To me, it's just let's move on. The officials did a nice job. It's over.
And it looks like that is the ruling. No call. So the officials trying to get both teams back on the court. The Tigers are on. The Blue Devils are still in a huddle right now. And now here come their 5. Auburn ball down 7.
Well, that's an offensive foul. Chad Baker-Mazara just threw. Now that they should review if they didn't see it, which seems hard to imagine. Chad Baker-Mazara just threw Sion James to the floor. That's got to be a foul.
And
that could even, because the ball wasn't in play, that could even, they call that a dead ball contact technical if they want to.
Yeah. Which is 2 in the ball.
Yeah, now they got to go look at this again.
Wow.
Do our ratings go up with officials review? They're watching more TV than anybody at home. The ball was not in play. Ron Gruver had not handed the ball to Auburn. And I think he was, Chad Baker-Mazara was reacting. He thought that he got grabbed, and you can see he's telling Bruce Pearl, I was trying to get my position, but you know, there's no way he dropped that shoulder.
And now the explanation being given to John Shire. It does not look like there is going to be a call on the play.
That's interesting.
And you can see Shire's reaction.
That is really interesting.
So Baker-Mazara may have gotten away, you know, with 1 or maybe 2 things in the last couple of minutes. No call on each of them.
The first one was nothing.
Yeah.
The second one was a foul.
Here he is swinging it to Broom, who's fouled by James.
A good action run by Auburn. And when Baker-Mazara got into the lane, drew the defense, I don't understand what is going on. Like, everybody needs to just get to their own huddle. Every team huddles up like it's a football game after a foul.
It all started after that scrap for the loose ball just 15 or 20 seconds of game time ago, and now we've had 3 kind of little situations in a row. But cooler heads prevail, and Broom is at the line. 2 shots. Knippel into the game for Duke. Evans will sit. It's been a very quiet night for Con Knippel. Just 2 points, 1 for 2 from the field.
Yeah, he's been guarded very well. They've not given him any open opportunities.
And 2 big free throws for Janai Broom.
And Auburn going to keep the full court pressure on. They're face guarding up front. Duke may be able to throw over the top against this at some point.
James gets it over, defended by Jones. Does Flagg come get a touch? Proctor behind the back. Turnaround. Got it.
Well, what a season Tyrese Proctor is having. Normally a catch and shoot guy, a point guard in his first 2 years, but now playing off the ball. That was a big time play.
And Baker-Mazara is going to go to the free throw line.
And Dan, that's what I think Auburn needs to start doing more of, is just driving some of these matchups. Spread them out and drive them. But Proctor, little hesitation move behind his back and then pivoting. That is not an easy shot. And here's the foul on Baker-Mazara going in. Knippel gave him a little bump. And Baker-Mazara, a good free throw shooter, just under 90%.
Still a lot of time. 2:48 to go. 6-point game. Denver Jones just walked over to each of his 4 teammates, including Baker-Mazara, who's on the line, and obviously had something he felt was very important to tell him before this next free throw. Five-point game. And now Bruce Pearl wants a timeout. 77-72 here at Cameron. We're back in 30. Welcome back. 2:48 to go. Duke with a 5-point lead. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. Auburn now with just 1 left. What are you expecting from Auburn defensively here over the next couple of possessions?
I think the full court pressure, trying to make it difficult for Duke to get the ball in, has been helpful. It's a little bit of a rhythm disruptor, and maybe they can get a turnover out of it. But you're going to continue to see more pressure. The question is, are they going to continue to switch all these exchanges? That's basically what they do. But if you put Cooper Flagg in screening action, yeah, he can take on those switches, and I think that's Duke's best opportunity to get the ball in his hands and let him make a play.
It'll be Sion James to inbound it for the Blue Devils. Gets it into Flagg. And now again, James and Flagg will combine to calmly bring it over the timeline. 2:40 to go. Knipple well defended by Johnson. Now Flagg. Backdoor cut, James.
What a block.
Janai Broom got it.
James essentially took it to the shot blocker on the other side of the basket. What a block by Janai Broom.
Averaging better than 3 per game, 3rd in the nation. And the 3 for Broom is in and out.
Bruce Pearl does not mind that shot.
Inside 2 minutes to go. Proctor shed his defender for a moment. Kelly recovers. It's loose. And it belongs to the Tigers.
This is a big possession here. Auburn needs a bucket.
Jones on the drive. Tried to go 1-on-2 and paid the price as it's knocked out of bounds.
Well, Cooper Flagg was there, but a great recovery. Got past Sion James. Flagg there to try to block it, but James recovered as well to knock it away.
So Auburn ball with 16 on the shot clock. Baker Mazzara, a very tough pull-up, and it's down to James. And Duke can take its time here. And the ball in the hands of the 17-year-old freshman, Cooper Flagg. Now Knipple. Just muscling Baker Mazzara under the bucket, and he lays it in. Jones short on the 3, but off the fingertips of Flagg, and back to Auburn.
And that was an air ball. Flagg just couldn't corral it. But they reset the shot clock to 20, but I don't think that ever hit the rim. So whatever was on the clock there, it should stay. One of the officials looking at it right now to reset the clock, but it never hit the rim, so there shouldn't have been a reset to 20. It'll be around 20 anyway.
Yeah. Ron Groover gives a thumbs up and ready to go.
Auburn likes to lob it up to Chad Baker Mazzara here, and then what I think you may see is a quick screen for Janai Broom.
Broom a touch. Can't hit it.
What a rebound.
Jones finds Baker Mazzara. It's a 5-point game.
What a rebound by Denver Jones. That was a big time play and still gets it to Baker Mazzara. That was huge.
And now a lot of pressure. The trap on Proctor. And James and Flagg get it over again. They have no choice now but to foul and put them on the line if they can't come up with a quick steal.
But if you're going to foul, you'd want to foul Sion James there. But watch this rebound by Denver Jones. That's a huge rebound and a great pass to Chad Baker-Mazara for the left-handed layup. What a play.
Flagg at the line, 2 shots coming. 5 for 8 tonight and 71% on the season entering this game. An intense game tonight here in Durham. Well played on both sides. Two big free throws for Cooper Flagg. Pettiford a step back 3, not there. Broom dribbles it out. Broom the catch and the lay-in to make it a 5-point game. Down to 15.4 seconds to go as Bruce Pearl uses his last timeout.
And right now it's just about inbounding the ball cleanly, being strong with it, and expecting contact.
We alluded to it a little bit earlier. Jay, take us through it. Cooper Flagg here in the second half.
Well, Cooper Flagg is just so good with the ball. Impacts the game on both ends. Gets a switch off that screen by Knipple in the middle and takes on the smaller Tahad Pettiford. Gets the bucket and the foul. Going against Dylan Cardwell and going right over the top. It doesn't matter, big, small, he's got so much game. Then going down, most players would have turned that over. He turns it into a left-handed bucket. Cooper Flagg is just a spectacular basketball player and really covers every facet of this game.
And he is tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Continental Tire. In addition to the 21 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. And these are the kinds of numbers he has been putting up in so many different areas for the Blue Devils this season.
But really, outside of all that stuff, points, rebounds, blocks, steals, assists, what else did he do?
Not much, really. That's a great point by you. He is... again, against high-level competition, too. Yes, he had the 2 turnovers at the end of the Kentucky game, but he is off to a great start here this season for the Blue Devils, and Duke has needed every bit of it here tonight. Duke has not had a lot of experience against SEC teams in this building over the years. The last time an SEC team won here was Vanderbilt in 1981. And again, not a lot of teams have come here. Duke's had, you know, the ACC Big Ten for so many years and so on, but not a lot of SEC history in this building. But this has been a good one. Flag is fouled. It was interesting talking to John Shire before the game about Duke versus the SEC. Duke played at Arkansas last year in this event. That was the first time he'd ever gone to Fayetteville. And he was just thinking off the top of his head, he doesn't think he's been to any other SEC building.
Yeah, he said he's never been to Rupp. He's never been to Tennessee.
No.
Never been to Auburn, things like that. I don't know. It's just the way the schedule tends to fall.
Yeah. Janai Broom has fouled out of the game for the Tigers.
You know, Duke in most every respect has a completely new basketball team from last year. I mean, Tyrese Proctor and Caleb Foster are back, but just about everybody else is new. And the young players they have play way beyond their years, especially Cooper Flagg. It's really remarkable. And Malik Brown transferred in from Syracuse. He was a huge factor in this game with his defense and how disruptive he could be. His deflections, and for really the second time, you know, they went against an outstanding rebounding team and out-rebounded. that team. They did it against Arizona and McHale, and did it in this game against Auburn.
2-possession game, but the seconds are ticking away. They need a 3. They need it fast. Instead, it's going to be a pass inside and a block by Flagg. And what's the call? Everybody kind of looking around. What was the whistle for?
I think they called, was it a goaltend?
Did they call it? And they're going to look at it right now. Inside.
Maybe they thought it hit the backboard, but it looked like it was a goaltend call.
Yeah, I think it did hit the backboard first. Yeah. So that should be a basket for the Tigers, but it'll still, I mean, that's something, but they really needed a 3, only 3.7 seconds to go, and Duke on the verge of a big win here tonight over the #2 team in the country, the Auburn Tigers, who had been playing as well as anybody in the country in the early going this season.
And right now, with Duke inbounding the ball on the baseline, they can run the baseline. You know, this may be an opportunity to look long against this Auburn pressure to seal this game.
And some more time put back on as well. So from 3.7, it's gone to 5.2. Again, Kansas, #1, they lost at Creighton, and #2, Auburn, on the ropes, to say the least, with just 5 seconds to go. Into Knippel, there's the foul, 3.5 to go, and 2 free throws coming.
And that'll seal it. Boy, Duke's defense in this game against an outstanding Auburn team. I mean, Auburn has played as well, if not better, than any team in the country to start this season. And Duke really put pressure on Auburn, made it really difficult for the Tigers to run clean offense after the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game.
Broom wound up with 20 and 12 in this game before fouling out.
And it would not be a surprise to see both of these teams in San Antonio.
Yep.
That's how good they are.
That's going to do it. What a game. 2 of the best teams in the country. And Duke defeats Auburn 84-78 to knock the Tigers from the ranks of the undefeated. It also brings to an end the SEC-ACC Men's Challenge, absolutely dominated by the SEC. The only ACC wins for Clemson, and this one here at Duke. A fun night here at Cameron. For Jay Billis, Chris Butt, and I'm Dan Schulman. Thanks so much for watching. SVP's got SportsCenter right now.